We are the Kaizens!
And you're listening to Ocean City Radio.
Some people come, some people go. Some people come into our lives to teach us to let it go. When I feel lost, when I feel low, I turn to you, my one, my sweet. You are my world. So come on, go. Walk out the door. I've given you everything, but you just had to take more. So go and walk out the door. I gave you my heart, but you just had to go and take more. Some people come, some people go. Some people come into our lives to teach us to let go. And when I try to speak my own mind, I get shut down inside. I fight to get every lie. So come on, go. Walk out the door. We've given you everything, but you just had to take more. And so go and walk out the door. I gave you my heart, but you just had to go and take more.
Well, welcome, Kaizens, to Plymouth Pavilions. I thought it might be a good chance to start with, just to tell us a little bit about yourselves, you know, kind of your role in the band, you know, kind of start with...
My name's Ryan and I play the drums.
Okay.
I'm Tom, I'm lead singer of the Kaizens. I play guitar and piano.
I'm Sam, I play bass.
My name's Josh and I play guitar.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the sort of the type of music that you play and the sort of performances that you provide, would you say?
Well, at its core, you know, like we all like rock music, you know, the standard guitars, bass, drums, singer kind of thing.
Yeah.
We've kind of just expanded from there really, like, you know, we love bands like Catfish, The Killers, the 1975.
Yeah.
We've all got quite like a varied sort of,
Yeah, we're all quite varied.
quite varied sound.
I mean,
Sorry,
if we had to compare the band sound, if we had to categorise it, but I think the more we write, record, produce songs, I think the more we tend to just like expand out in every direction. Like Tom said, we all like totally different types of music, so when we can find stuff that we agree on, and when we meet in the middle, I think that's where we find really interesting sounds, and that's where we find something really...
We don't want to sort of narrow our vision of the way that we write either, you know, because
Yeah.
we want to try a bit of all sorts, you know, and experiment as much as we can. So
I can see that from the name Kaizens, you know, you're kind of looking at, you know, the way that you're developing your styles of continuous improvement, you know, which is so that's probably a mantra that you have collectively. But I think it's good to have that sort of diverse mix of influences and involvement in there as well. I think just telling our listeners really a little bit about the music you provide, sort of indie rock music, I guess.
Yeah, if you're going to categorise it, I would say.
But I think from me personally, looking at all the videos and the tracks that you played, I think they're fantastic. Just to see all that definitely, and I'll get to experience that as part of the radio as well. So I think just turning our attention really to the pavilions, then introducing pavilions introducing. I guess it's on the 4th of October. That's when the event's happening. In terms of our listeners, what would they expect from that collective event with all those different bands? Would you say?
Wow.
Well, hopefully it'll be something a little bit different, won't it?
Something different for everyone, really.
Yeah, I think everyone will have something they like, and when it comes to us and the people that know us, then obviously we're doing something a little bit different too. So it should be different for everyone, including us.
Well, you got the acoustic girl, Charlie Louise. You got Sound of the Sirens, which are a great pair of girls, aren't they? They're upbeat and great music, and then obviously us with the orchestra and the indie sound, the rock sort of sound. So yeah, it's going to be hopefully a good night.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time we play live. It'll be the first time that we do the full set with the orchestra, because we've recorded together before, like a live video. It's going to be
Fallout, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
such a difference between obviously the quality is the same, but you can see listen to the Fallout and then compare it with watching the YouTube. It's just takes it to the next level.
Yeah,
really.
and that's really, in most part, thanks to Paul. He really understands our vision. I think we really are on the same wavelength, and his compositions, it's not just doubling up on what we do, it is adding a whole new dimension to the sounds, to the songs, and it just makes it just brings so much depth and colour, and it's really amazing. It's totally blown us away when we've heard things back.
He's got a great vision, hasn't he?
Especially when we heard it for the first time, like when we were actually there recording it, and you've got like 40 extra people compared to 4 of us.
Just visually, you turn the music down and look at it visually, you can see it's just really
incredible.
Very special.
He writes his own song too, doesn't he? We've got our song, and he's written his own. It's not like he's just putting little bits here and there. He's written his own song to go with it, which is really cool.
Yeah, I kind of read some information online about. I think you approached them originally to get involved. So how did that come about? Kind of concept of the song sort of fall out and where it was at that point, and then move it forward to bring in an orchestra.
I mean, it was a kind of like a dream of ours, wasn't it? Really, with playing with an orchestra. I mean, your favourite band, Metallica. Watching the movie the other day when they played, with an orchestra, it's something that we always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we do this? Like, what do we do? Who do we get in contact with? So we just Googled it and found Devon Youth Orchestra. What a perfect sort of place to start, with youth as well, helping them out. And I mean, they've helped us out massively, haven't they? They're just so talented.
I think it works both ways, and that's the best, because we've never done it, they've never done it. Paul never done it. It just works for everyone.
And he said he wanted to do it as well, didn't he? So it was the right place at the right time.
And now they all get that chance to experience all that stage Plymouth Pavilions with us.
Yeah, I mean that to them must be
a real buzz
for them to have that experience. That on stage, the different kind of level, a different kind of nervousness as well. Playing the usual audience that would have to obviously come in with you guys. I guess they must be equally looking forward to the event as well,
yeah.
I think they are, aren't they?
Yeah,
we're probably more nervous than them, to be honest with you.
Well, this is it. Yeah. So I mean, just focusing on you four guys. So I guess in terms of how you got together, how did Kaizens form? And, kind of how do you?
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You did. Yeah, you did. No, it all started on the internet, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swipe left or
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You make a profile, put up what you do, how long you've been doing it for, and just
pictures,
little clips or whatever. And so someone got hold of Tom as our old bassist, our original bassist. He's the one. Did he get hold of you? I don't know.
No, I found him actually.
Oh, okay. And then he knew me on Facebook. I'd never actually met him. So he messaged me and said, "Hey, do you want to start a band?"
Yeah.
Which he did a few years ago, and I ignored him. But this time I didn't. And we started with just the 3 of us, And then when he left, we got another bassist who was my best friend, and we found Josh on the internet at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
My friend left, and we found Sam on the internet. So it's very internet based.
So you do like a lot of, kind of try and test rehearsals or test each other out and see, kind of how you gel together, because it's a real, proper ingredients when you see guys on stage and you see, from here, great sound.
Massively. I mean, I've been in bands before where we've done the same thing, and you bring someone in, give them a go, and if you're like, he's good, but I don't get on with him, then it won't work.
Yeah. Did you find it sort of clicked instantly, or is it something you have to work at collectively?
Massively. I mean, it's tricky because we weren't friends from school. A lot of bands that you see nowadays were mates right from school, and that, in this situation we weren't. It's something that I've always wanted to get into, but I didn't know how to start. So what with the internet was a massive saviour on my part, because I had no friends that were into music and stuff. Did have friends, but no one's into music.
Covered that one.
So it's the internet was massive, and then obviously meeting the old bassist that knew you, then we found Josh and Sam, and that it was
Sometimes it's just being recognised and being given that helping hand, and giving each other sort of confidence to say, actually, you can do it. And you must look back at that time and think, from where you're trying to push yourselves forward individually, to then sort of come together as a group and to find each other online, particularly.
I think it's because we also showed the enthusiasm for it. Like, I just remember us turning up. I found it. I sort of looked. I was like, "Wow, that's the way above what I thought I would be in."
Yeah.
So I turned up. I think I learned like 2 songs the night before, and then I sort of just showed I was keen, and then we sort of pushed on from there. We already sort of had a bit of connection.
I think that was one of your biggest kind of selling points to us. Was like we saw how enthusiastic you were, and we kind of drew off that excitement as well. And that, I think, when all else fails, as long as you've got that fire in your belly, I think you can pull through.
You can be like the best whatever guitarist bassist in the world, but if you haven't got the sort of work ethic or just the connection to get on with each other.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. Honestly, even if you can't play, if you get on, then they'll pick it up. Not saying you can. Not saying you can play.
Half it is getting up there. Just really,
it's like my favourite thing to do, and I think it's something for you.
To work with each other. But I guess also a big part of it is the crowd and people in the audience, trying to work off them as well, and interact with them. It looks great, in terms of your interaction with everyone.
It is cliche, but that, I think, like an audience for us can be like a fifth member, because our favourite kind of crowd is a bunch of people who are just up for it, who wanna jump, clap, sing, scream, because that's what we love doing. We love making a noise and jumping around, and if that energy is shared. Obviously, we like to bring it down at parts of the show, but it's always about getting it back up to that excitement and that energy, and that's, I think that's really you think it's the weekend and people have been working hard all week, they want to blow off some steam, and I think we feel very honoured to be a part of that, and so having an audience who is as engaged with us as we are with each other, I think it can be quite vital to doing a really successful show.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at my experience, many years ago, sort of going to Nez Atomic Dustbin concerts, going to the Wonder stuff, going to the Warsaw Stadium and jumping around, whatever. But I think it's great to have that interaction, that involvement. So we're just focusing a little bit on the music then for now. Is it kind of looking at your influences, would you say? Because you mentioned earlier about you've got quite a diverse mix of experiences. Kind of where do you find those influences, and for your songwriting, for your performances, that kind of thing?
Everywhere.
I couldn't.
New bands, old bands.
I couldn't really I'm sure same with you three. It's not like I couldn't really say it's 2 bands. I think it's such a range, both when we write songs and how we play our instruments as well. It's quite. I couldn't really pinpoint it to us.
Yeah.
But the music that I listen to, it normally isn't really anything like what we play.
True.
But I tend to write drum lines apart from the slower ones normally, but when I write my drum lines, they're normally a bit heavier than the sort of music we play, but I think that works really well.
It does,
That's interesting you say that, because a lot of the lot of parts that are more specific to what I play, I always link it back. There's some way, at some level, you can link it back to Metallica and how they've inspired me, but because at its core, the bones of the operation have that, but then there's so much else that goes into it. There's so many other layers to it that makes it I wish I could quote them, but I think it was like, I remember somebody saying, I think it might have been Cliff Burton, the original bassist from Metallica. He said like influences are like colours on a palette, and the more you have, the more able you are to express yourself. And I think that stands very true for us, because we bring so many varied influences to the table. What comes out the other end is just, it can't help but be unique, because it's made up of so many different parts.
Sure.
Yeah,
if we all loved, like, I don't know, Metallica, for example, we would just be a Metallica tribute band.
Yeah.
Basically.
You got the indie boys,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
Josh, who
totally.
likes
Yeah.
everything, and then I like my heavier stuff and punk, and I think the mix is different.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's good. It's a good, healthy mix, isn't it? You're all there to just tap each other on the shoulder and say, we want to go this way.
Exactly. We all sort of show each other different music. Like I just like listen to what he listens to, what he listens to, and vice versa, and all that. So we're always like developing our sort of listen and knowledge, basically. So
I'm shocked at how rare it clashes.
Mm.
We haven't encountered a lot of like hot and cold situations.
Yeah.
It always seems to find this nice middle ground where
we always try an idea out, and we always just try and make sure we can develop it as much as possible before we either put it on the shelf or before we bin it. You know, we make sure that we're like, do you like this idea? Yes or no? Like, is this good? Is this going to go any further? Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, most things go on the shelf. It's very rare that we go, this is unusable.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because we've had a couple of ideas where like Josh has a riff, or I start the song and then Josh brings a riff in, or you have a drum line, and you know, we don't necessarily have one person that's actually writing the full song. You know, we all bring something to the table.
Exactly, like you have like songwriting ideas, and me and Mum do the rhythm, and you do like guitar bits and all stuff like that, and then like the production work Josh will do. So it's all,
it flows. We have a nice little way of doing it now, haven't we?
Yeah, we all know what we're best at, and we sort of do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to some of your tracks earlier, and noticing that quite a lot of it is to do with relationships, ups and downs of relationships. I don't know if I got that quite right, but but it's quite it's quite interesting to sort of hear the lyrics and see what they mean to you guys, really, understand a little bit more about that.
A lot of it, I think, is just trying to write about something that you connect with, or that something's on a night out that you've had, or a girlfriend, or a relationship, or your mates, or something that you can think back to when you're singing it on stage, because then it means something, and then other people are looking at you as well, and they're like, yes, I know what he's talking about, like I know what he's singing about.
Yeah, they make their own assumptions, it means something to them.
Or, exactly.
So it's almost like you sort of know a rough idea, but if someone went, is that meaning, people think, well, I thought it went that meaning. And then the song might not connect us. So it's like everyone, that's what I love about music, is that everyone will have their own opinion what it means to them.
Exactly. You can see that across the range. Everybody has an opinion about what it means.
Exactly.
So what would you say in terms of performances, the music, anything you've done over this time with the Kaizens, would be the sort of proudest moment? What would you say kind of sums up your...
Should we go that way?
Do you do orders? I've got two, so I'm going to wait and see if anyone else picks one of mine first.
I've got two as well.
One stands out very clearly in my mind was the Hub, which is a show that we organised ourselves. And it was literally just at a point where, I mean, we never, I don't want to say stagnate, but we always like to put enough things in our timeline that we know that there's going to be something to work towards. And I think we just felt like we didn't have any do or die situations. So we thought, right, let's plan our own gig. It was like a 400 capacity, which was, made us a bit nervous, trying to get 400 people in one place. And we were so lucky to have so many wonderful people on board helping us, not just like, technical guys that we worked with, like the likes of Josh, who's like our producer, and we had close friends and family being a part of it, which felt really special. It felt like something that everybody really come together to create. And we just started using in-ear systems, so we had some microphones set up so we could hear the audience still, so it wasn't so we weren't isolated. So we're backstage, our intro track's playing, we can hear everybody screaming and getting worked up, and we're already nervous is the per norm before a show. And we walk out onto stage to be greeted by that incredible energy, and it's all eyes front and center. Everybody is totally emotionally engaged and physically engaged with what we're doing, and that was just so surreal to have such participation of what we were doing, and people, and it was an incredible show, and people were really.
It's an incredible feeling, isn't it,
part of
to
it.
walk out onto stage,
especially when
there's
it's all people right to the front.
Mm.
Usually,
Yeah.
sort of get people scattered, but when it was all to the front, I think that's probably the first time we've had that. And
Yeah.
it's like,
The
wow,
difference was it wasn't at a festival where
Yeah.
anyone's there looking at everyone. Everyone was there to watch us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
All there for the same
We don't
reason.
normally think that's the first time we've done
That's the
it.
first time we've had that, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was March, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
March.
Mm.
That was really incredible. That was
Yeah.
really special. Yeah. Actually, no. I feel like one of you guys will bring it up.
Go on then.
So,
So
Oh,
you've
God.
got-
So we had
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
so that would definitely been like the number one. But if I'm going to do it for variation,
Yeah.
I would say we had, when we were support band this for Whittaquick, and we'd gone all around the country with them,
Yeah.
and then we would come back. It was the first time we'd actually like toured, like tried to sleep in the van and failed sleeping in the van and all that. And then we come back to Exeter Cavern, and it was like everyone brought like people along. It was like sold out, and it's just all that sort of energy.
Yeah.
I mean, like the hub, that nothing will beat the hub so far for me,
Yeah.
as well as festivals. But for me, that was pretty special as well. Just
It's
having
the
to
whole
put the front.
encapsulated
Yeah,
experience from
yeah,
roughing
definitely.
it and
Yeah, roughing it
on
for the
stage
first time.
and
Yeah,
having a great sort of time.
yeah, and it was like the homecoming one as well.
Yeah.
Because we've gone Manchester, Birmingham, London.
Yeah.
and
We just got on with the other boys so well.
Yeah,
we
it was
were
like family
awesome.
almost,
So
Yeah.
yeah, we went
It's
out
a
with
mad
them.
tour.
Like we didn't know them that well before we went
No.
out. We played with
Yeah.
them once or twice. We
Mm.
went out with them, and by the end of it, we're like, yeah, we would like best
Yeah,
band
best
friends now.
mates, yeah.
It's
good.
good.
I'm not going to say about that actually.
If you want to know what we're
That's
talking about,
cool.
actually, there is
Oh,
a
yeah.
video floating around
No,
on our
we
Facebook somewhere. It might be a little bit buried, but it's just phone footage, and I think it really.
Oh, you made the
encapsulates
movie?
it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there we go, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the,
Go-
yeah,
go
the
find
movie.
that.
I
Go
watch that
plug it.
sometimes. It's
Yeah, I
it's
do watch
really
those sort of things. Yeah.
because we like what we've ended up doing as well is like it's a little bit of a home movie for us, but then it's
Mm.
also the fans can see what we've been up to, and
Yeah, sure.
you know, so it's
Backstage.
yeah. I rewatch
Mm.
that
Days
stuff
off.
sometimes. It's
Me
nice.
walking around like a zombie.
We were yeah, we just what were we doing? We were at a music shop, and we stayed at an abandoned school, and we were playing like retro Nintendo games and skateboarding outside and just chilling out in the
I mean, it's
sun.
way better than the show, wasn't it? So much more fun.
Skateboard.
So good, so good.
Skateboarding up and down the hallway to the toilet and that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was so good.
Yeah, it was surreal. That was
So I got a couple. One being a couple of years ago, 2015, we were backstage at a festival at Gordon Gathering, and we met Dan Hawkins from The Darkness,
Yes.
and we were all like shy and nervous and that. We were like, oh my god, it's Dan Hawkins, oh my god.
Yeah.
And he come out, and we handed a t-shirt and a CD over to him. Anyways, nothing happened from that. Like, we left it like 6 months down the line. He sent us an email. So he got our business card as well. So 6 months down the line, he sent us an email and he said, oh, by the way, guys, I've worn your t-shirt on national USA TV. It was like Chicago TV or something like that. And that just blew our minds. Like, this was a few years ago as well, before, you know, we were playing in pubs and stuff.
Yeah.
Still, you know.
Yeah.
It's-
Dan Hawkins on TV with our
Yeah,
£5
it was-
t-shirt on.
It was such
Yeah.
an incredible moment, and
Yeah.
our socials just like
our
went
socials
poof,
took off,
didn't they?
especially
Yeah.
Instagram. We definitely
Really?
took off. We sort of gained a
That
lot
was
after that.
mad.
So that
was a good moment.
Yeah.
So it's really special when somebody takes time out
Oh,
to,
it was. Yeah.
Massively,
to recognise you,
yeah.
you know, and
Huge
to recognise
kudos,
you
yeah.
for your talents as well, which is great.
He even offered to
That's
record a record with us as well at his own like farmland studio.
Mm.
But we just didn't feel like it was the right time for
No, it
a
wasn't the right
full
time at all.
album worth of, I mean, we literally just had enough material to
Yeah,
fill an
I'm
album.
so glad
at
we
that
didn't do
point.
that.
So,
Yeah.
We'd been
We-
rushing. We would have rushed it if we did that, and it never would have come out as good as it could have been.
yeah, we wanted to think about it and make
Mm.
sure the time was right for you know, because it's all about singles nowadays.
Yeah, especially in this day and
Yeah.
age. You don't get your album until you're signed, do you?
Yeah.
Or you're like made it basically without an album. So
The cool thing
Yeah.
about a single is every time you go to record, you really get to think about what that individual song gets to say. Where when you make an album's worth of songs, I feel like I personally would worry that, you know, there's too many overlapping.
you've got to link
Yeah.
them up really. Yeah.
Trying to get a bit of unity over what you're trying to, what's the message you're
Yeah,
trying
exactly.
to send to the
Yeah.
audience.
If you want it
Yeah.
to stand out.
And you want it to like be for everyone, so that everyone takes something from it.
Mm.
I guess.
Obviously, like an album isn't just like track. It's
Yeah.
one begins and ends. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or
I think if we
the
do
classic
one-
albums anyway.
Yeah, if we do one, we don't want any fillers.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
so
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. You want
Yeah.
everyone to be like, I like this song, I like that one, I like all of them.
Yeah,
you know,
not the
no
stuck with
fillers.
both single
No-
bands, yeah.
And it's about getting the right promotion as well afterwards. You know, we were
Yeah.
still just a couple of years down the line from where we were. So you know, obviously we've got different songs now. We've progressed as a band.
Yeah.
You know, all our playing and that's got better. And yeah, I think it would have been a bit silly if we'd done an album, then, but it would have been cool.
It was
but
just bad timing.
Yeah.
It was just too soon, really.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. And we'd hope to talk to Dan again in the future. to be
Thanks,
honest.
Dan.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan,
Yeah.
if you're listening.
yeah, hit us up again, man.
Appreciate
My choice is kind of the same as yours, but not. So I'm going to still count it as different. Mine was God and the Gathering, just in general, like the show. So that counts, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
so we played, and remember we were setting up on the stage. We were playing the second stage, but the way it was set up is the second stage was just to the right of the main, so you had the same crowd basically. So I think it was it Little Band or something we're playing. Is that the right name of them?
Mini band.
Mini band.
Mini
Yeah, the mini band were playing on main stage, and it was like, right, there's like 3,000 or 4,000 people there. That's insane.
Yeah.
And then when it was our time to play, the guy announced us. He was like, "Oh, it's the Kaizens," and everyone just went, just turned and watched us. We played, did the whole thing to all those people, which was nuts. And then when we finished, it was an awesome show. Oh, yeah, honestly, yeah, the adrenaline was crazy.
Our first proper festival, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
But
That was a
what
sketchy
made it for
moment.
me is afterwards they were like, "Oh, do you want to come down to the merch tent after we packed up to do some like signing or meet and greets?" And I was like, "Oh, what's the point? You know, we probably won't see anyone because no one knew who we were." We went down there and there was a massive queue of people, and that was awesome. There was a lot of people there, wasn't there? Not like just like 5 or 10. There was like 50 people wanting to buy merch, wanting us to sign stuff. And, yeah, signed all sorts, signed everything like books, people. Posters,
Arms and legs. And
everything. Yeah, that was good.
Was it? I can't remember who it was. I think it was you and me. The mini-band came up to us afterwards because the drummer loved you. He was absolutely in love with Ryan. And these guys were just going, "Oh, guys, great show, great show." And I was stood there thinking, "Haven't you guys just supported Metallica?" And they're going, "Oh, yeah, but you guys were awesome." And it's like, fair enough, okay. So yeah, those guys are really cool.
Yeah, I didn't even realise he was the drummer, did I? And I was like, "Oh, did he play drums?" I feel bad because I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they're just kids, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's quite impressive. They've had a good head start, I think. Yeah.
So what do you think's next for you guys in terms of taking the Kaizens that next step? Is it more festivals, or is it concerts you're organising, or is it going to be an album perhaps, or anything like that you're kind of looking at in the future?
I think we can rule off the album, can't we?
Yeah,
So
just push on
both-
with what we're doing, really.
all of the above, just not the album.
push on with more festivals and more gigs, and just promote ourselves as much as we can. And yeah,
getting
I mean,
ourselves
more
out
radio
there, really,
shows,
isn't
and yeah, just keep pushing.
Getting
Hopefully get up
ourselves
to London.
to the right people more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do shows, I think, but don't really think about doing festivals. A lot of the bands you see doing the festivals are the same bands, whereas most people are worried about doing tours, about shows and stuff. But festivals are where you get so much more exposure because someone might be from anywhere else in the country might come down to it.
It's like posters as well.
And these small ones, like you get, not small ones, but you know, but then when you get the more local festivals, you get bands who were big like 10 years ago. Like we played with Scouting for Girls last year.
Yeah, it's
That was
Top Loader as well.
Top Loader, and then Top Loader got us in to support them in painting. And you know, you made to meet all these people that you would never meet if you were just doing shows.
I mean, that's a radio show. We covered the Funky Lava Festival on Plymouth Pavilions, and that was had a mix of different diverse mix of bands on there as well. And you're right, you get different audience and there's lots of fans out there of all sorts of things. So you think that's the kind of way to go, is it really, in terms of just continuing to promote yourselves and just move forward on that?
It's variation. I think it's best for everything.
Yeah.
Like no one should just do one thing because that one thing won't work forever. But if you're doing a bit of everything, then I reckon, to me anyway, that makes more sense.
Yeah, we don't we when it comes to planning out our future, we've always been quite spontaneous. We've kind of done it as it's happened, and I think because our interests are so versatile, I think it really suits us to kind of make a decision in the moment and make a decision kind of there and then about how we feel in that moment and how we want to present that to people. And this Pavilions Introducing show is a great example of that, getting the orchestra involved. So like that's what makes it really exciting is we don't know, we can't really make any promises at this point, but we can promise that it's going to be something different, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a challenge for us and for our listeners. Hopefully less of a challenge for our listeners.
You've got to challenge those listeners out there. You've got to get them to listen. And,
Yeah, we don't like people getting too comfortable with the same.
It seems easy producing, kind of record after record. You're getting, massive followers, aren't you? Which is encouraging to see, and I can only see it growing, definitely.
I mean, I know we really look up to like the big game changers, like Bowie, or even Michael Jackson. People who
don't just
people
want to be
who
like
really
a band, like if that makes sense, like an indie band who are around for a bit,
Yeah.
gone. Just want to be like, just look up.
People
how
to
it
remember
changed.
us.
Yeah, to remember. Especially like we're going in a new decade now, and I feel like with what's going on politically, there's going to be a massive like cultural change again, like there was, which like started the 60s, started like the 90s, and that. Right, 30 years later, so we're going into the 2020s now. No one knows what the hell is going to happen. So like we've just got to sort of catch on with that sort of thing and make movements in that direction.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, just finally then, so we've got Plymouth introducing on the 4th of October, and obviously everybody, our listeners, can go onto the website, Plymouth Pavilions website, to order the tickets to go to that. Just finally, what would you say to our listeners about coming along to that event? What would you say that would sum up that and why they should go along?
I mean,
Well,
I think.
That's okay.
I was just going to say this will probably be the only time that we're ever going to do this. So it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. If you want to see the Kaizens, if you want to catch Sound of the Sirens, if you want to catch Charlie Louise in one room together, and Devon Youth Orchestra, obviously. This is it. This is the night.
Yeah.
Especially like band down there and everything.
That's right.
It's a local
Just hope that
band.
they enjoy it, right? When they turn up, that they're going to walk away like, wow, I want to see that again. Except probably won't.
Well, I'm sure they'll catch you on another one.
I think we were talking as well. It's like there are so many people who who kind of live for tomorrow, or save for a rainy day, or however you want to phrase it. I'll be happy then when this thing happens. When my new shoes arrive in the post. Well, it's like I feel like we've set a date where there's a promise from us. All you have to do is turn up and be a part of it.
I'm getting some new shoes and I'm actually looking forward to it.
Can you get them in time for the gig?
Yeah, they're turning up. I'm getting some new Vans because that's all I wear now. So they're turning up on Monday.
I need some new shoes actually.
Wear them here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely. No, but listen, thanks for your time, for spending some time with me today, and
Thanks for having us.
wish you all the very best. We look forward to the Plymouth Pavilions as well on the 4th of October. Thanks a lot, guys.
Cheers.
Well, you're really excited.